Hello everybody, it's Panda here again, and what we're going to do today, we're going to install some pots. These are the Dunlop Super Pots. They are the 500K split shaft. I got two of them, and they are going to go into our white Telecaster here. And I'm going to show you how we do it. First thing you want to do, you want to go ahead and loosen all this up, because I don't want to replace strings every 5 minutes. And I want to show you how I'm going to save my strings. So, once we finally get all these detuned, we're going to try to get them somewhat straight towards the body. Man, now we got it most of the way there. Oh my God, what, 2 more strings after this one, so not a big deal. Once we get this last string done, then all we gotta do is start taking the pick guard off. Being that it does have the string retainers here, I always make sure you take them out, the retainers. Okay, the next part is pretty much straightforward. I'm going to set this down. It is on a table that I can't really get damaged on, so thank God for plastic. Now what we got to do is we got to take this one and I got a spot behind me to put these. Actually, I got one beside me too. Once we get all these out, you can use a drill for this if you want, but I don't want to use a drill for this. We got 2 more up here. This is really the part that takes the most time when you're starting out on it. Especially with these Telecasters, because there's an awful lot of screws. Well, in this one in particular is the 75 Squire, so it is a poplar body, but it doesn't feel cheap. I will say that. And I got guitars of multiple qualities. I got one that somewhat natural looking Telecaster I got. That Cozart, that one feels like plastic. I hate it. There's both of my SGs feel pretty decent. The red one feels better than my other one, which I haven't done a video on yet. Which I've had the other one for quite a while. It's nothing special, but no puns intended there, because it is just an SG special. But when you're just starting out, you get what you can afford. And later on, you find what guitars you actually like. You don't worry about the price too much. Or you get to be one of those guys that's like, well, I want this kind of guitar, but I don't want to spend but this much for it. Which is admirable. And being honest, some of the cheaper guitars now feel pretty good. If you can get past most of them being poplar bodies, it's not really as bad as everybody makes it seem to be. And then we got 2 more after this. Once we get all these out, we'll be fine. I'm going to keep that one in there up there for a second. That way we can go ahead and get this part out of the way. We got one like that. I'm going to have to set you down to get the other one out. Just wait a moment. So, the way I'm going to do this one is take a screwdriver and gently pry up under it as I turn it. Do not pry too hard or you can damage the pot. And I'm keeping these pots not because I'm a hoarder, but because I like to have extra parts just in case. Okay, now that we got that out, we're going to go ahead and take our Pegas crescent wrench, put it down on the pot, well, not on the pot itself, but on the nut itself that's around it, and loosen that. We'll do that for both of them. I'll show you the nut in just a second. So, this nut here is what I just loosened up. Now that we got those loose, I want to take the crescent wrench, put it off to the side over here, and take this last screw out. You may wonder why we're not doing anything to the toggle switch. It's because we don't have to. That toggle switch is going to stay like it is. Now, I do need to go get a socket for, well, I probably don't need to. Probably don't need a socket to get that out. The important thing to do here is kind of get your hand up under it and kind of pry it up a little bit. Go around and make sure that it's not bonding on anything. If you do find it bonding, then definitely get whatever that is out of the way, because we don't want to break strings here. We want to try to keep all this in good condition. So give me 1 second, I'll be back with that. Okay, it looks like we're going to have to take the strings out, which is something I did not want to have to do, but Being that we got locking tuners, it's not a big deal. And we can still reuse these. I do have more packs of strings, it's just that I don't like to waste them. These are fairly new, so there we go. Now I gotta turn in the right direction. Sometimes you may do something that you think you're doing right, and no, I did not. I turned it the wrong damn direction again. Either way, let's go ahead and get these other ones out. Okay, now it is right. Not going to pretend I'm perfect for anybody. I'm definitely not. Now that we got these out, we can go back to putting this up. What we're going to do for the strings, we're going to take some tape here. Fold these back. And just go around them like one time. It ain't got to be pretty, it's just got to be something to hold them out the way. Now we can just pull this cover up, and that'll expose everything that we have. Okay. Now these aren't your typical humbuckers. And these are some tiny pots. Alright. Something I would recommend here. As you can see, that's the old pots that are in here. And this is the new one. Kind of side by side. We do have enough room over here for it. So we're clear on that. The main thing that we got to do now, which we shouldn't have to worry too much, we do have to take these off, well, the zip tie off, and you're going to want to be gentle doing that. I'd recommend some scissors or something on that line. And after I get that off, I'll go ahead and start the video back up. Okay, I can't find any scissors, so I want to use a different trick. You definitely want to be careful doing this. I'm going to take my soldering iron, and I did pry away from it. You want to be careful not to burn yourself or catch anything on fire and not hit any wires. And just like that, we got through that little zip tie, and we did not mess anything up. That is not one I would recommend doing, but you can technically do it. Now that we did that, we can kind of, let me turn it here. We can kind of bring this up to expose what we got going on here a little bit more. I mean that we're just changing these pots out. What we're going to do is unscrew it. These are just 250K pots, by the way. Definitely keep this. So we're going to take the washer that came off the front and the screw, put that off to the side, or better yet, this other little washer that's up under it. We're going to go ahead and take all of them and put it back onto this pot. That way we don't have to worry about that. The wiring itself is going to stay the same. There are some people that'll just change the wiring out too, but I'm trying to show you how to do it on a budget and it also still work properly. Because the wiring, being honest, is still good. The pots are still good. This thing sounds amazing. It's just lacking a little bit of what I want it to do. Like some of the clarity kind of buffers out. Now I'm going to do the same thing down here. You need to pop this washer up. Sometimes they don't want to come up. There we go. This is going to make it easier. But these are your mini Alpha 250, so very small pots. That's the only downside to these. When you get the Squires, sometimes they have mini pots in them instead, even though this thing was like $400 something. It's like $400 something for this damn thing. You'll expect better pots than this. Yeah, it's no big deal. I like to tinker anyway. And what we do here with the Dunlop number 3, as you can see, right here, that's going to be our grounding lug. So we're just going to kind of fold that back, let it kind of touch, or get it kind of close to touching. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with go down here first at our tone knob, and I want to work our way up. And one thing I want to check is make sure that these do fit. Looks like with a little encouragement they will. Yeah. With a little encouragement I can get those to work. I didn't want to change the knobs out because I do like those. So now what we're going to do is go ahead and unscrew this. Hopefully we don't have to drill anything out for this part. Still kind of early in the morning, so what I'm going to do now, take this, lay that down, flip this one around, and it's that little, I guess it's kind of like a gripping washer of sorts. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to stick it in. Yay, we don't have to do any extra on that part. We're not going to lock it down. We're just going to keep it up here. I just want to do this so I can do some soldering to it. And I'm going to face it towards me. I'm not locking it down by any means. And I do have no capacitors put in here too. I'm going to try to figure out a way to show you this, because I know it's kind of hard to see. I did not think this through, guys. What I can do in the meantime, this is only like 15 bucks from Amazon, by the way. And that works great. I want to figure something out here while this is heating up to where you guys can see what I'm seeing. This is about the best angle I can do. Sorry if I'm kind of muffled. But what I am going to do this stuff here is some resin. It's kind of like flux, so I'm going to take a little bit out. But where we're going to be welding, yeah, no, soldering, welding is same principles. Technically, you don't have to do this part, but being that I am kind of putting a lot of wiring into this, I do want to be cautious. And I know I'm not going to be welding everywhere here, but kind of can't go wrong with adding a little extra just to be safe. And all I gotta do there is just wipe that off and we're good. And I know this is going to be kind of a messy looking, but I've done a lot of soldering with this thing. Just like that. We're heated up. Shit. Looks like we're going to have to change strings anyway, because I was just a dumbass. Or it could just be a little bit of solder. We'll find out later. Okay, just a little bit of solder got onto it. No big deal. So I want to take my soldering wire, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat this up. Doesn't have to be pretty, it's just got to connect it. There we go. Now we got a good solder there. Next thing we want to do is we're going to unsolder this kind of one at a time. Kind of put everything back in the same order after we put our capacitor on there. Almost forgot to put the capacitor on it this early. So the capacitors that we got, as soon as I can pop it open, are on strop capacitors. Kind of the best that you can really do, and this is quite a big capacitor. It's going to, well, you can just kind of look here. On the other one, it's just got to go into the middle here, then on top. And what we're going to do is we're going to kind of measure it. We don't need a whole hell of a lot. And I'm going to kind of get something to snip this down and some other tools that we're going to need. So hold on 1 minute, guys. Alright, I'm back on my tool bag. And let's see. We're going to need the sockets. And right now we need this. So take that, set it off to the side. What we're going to do is measure it up again. Okay. Kind of want it there. And these are just string cutters, by the way. Now we just take it, fold this up. Be gentle with it, that way you don't mess it up. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to tack it onto the I'm going to tack it up here first. Add some flux. Set that off to the side. And I should have did this first. I should have made it where y'all can see what I'm saying. Oh no. Because I am not rich and I do not have the money to buy a new camera yet. If anybody is wondering, no, I am not a professional. I think that kind of shows here. Matter of fact, I'm not wearing gloves. Okay. It really doesn't take a whole lot. Just kind of burn that in a little bit. Now, doesn't move. Okay, and now all we gotta do is kind of figure out a way to solder this in without fucking anything up. And I can do that. God damn it. Here, you probably want to hear quite a bit of foul language, which is why this is never going to be on a kid's channel. Hold on. Having to take this back up. Whee! So as I'm taking this back up, and all you can see is my fat fingers, or fat pinky finger. What I am going to do now is something very, very smart-ish. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to trim it. I'm going to pick it up just a little bit. Actually, no, I don't need to trim it. I'm going to stick it in there like that. That way when we fold it back, it doesn't break. Now I can stick it back down. And solder that in. Again, I want to get this fat wire here that I use for soldering. Unless you have experience soldering, do not do what I'm doing. As you can see, it is tied in really good now. Okay, our next goal. Now that we got that done, we can start desoldering our old wires. I'm going to take this and set it off to the side along with its goodies. Normally you would use cardboard for this, but I am not. Okay, so it's important to put everything back where you find it. Just on the new part. So as we can see, our raw wire and our black wire are the only ones that's connected to the back of this pot. And up here we got our white wire connected. So that's kind of, there's the black wire. And be careful, it is fucking hot. I am not a professional, I repeat. We're going to take that hot little bastard, put it off to the side. Now, what we can do we can kind of pick that. I should have probably did this last. I want to kind of pick it up like that. Kind of fish this down. I want to connect this little white wire first, and then I'll connect the rest of it to the back of the pot. But to do that, I need to kind of stretch this whole thing out. I know that's what she said. And then we're going to kind of wrap it up a little bit where it doesn't move. Like that, we're already soldered down. Okay. Now with the other wire, we want to take it, find a nice little spot on the back of the pot. After we straighten that up a little bit. Sorry. Now that we got that straightened up, I'm going to kind of push it down. We do have some more flux here, so we're okay. Okay, it's not the prettiest. Now for our ground, we can also kind of reach up through here and put it in sort of the same place. This is why I was not worried about the, well, let's go around that just in case we ever have to change our ground out or whatever. Definitely take both hands here to do this. One to hold your wire, the other one to solder it down. Just going to kind of tack it down. Alright, now we can add some more to it. Damn it. Sometimes that happens. The solder on there is not pretty. But that did get the white wire away from it. So we're going to let that cool down. And that doesn't take too long. Once that cools down, we can actually go to our next part. And that's going to be taking the wiring off of our volume pot. And just checking, making sure it's working proper. It is. Okay, it's cool to touch. Now I can take this, kind of fold it over a little bit, And we can actually go ahead and mount this down. Let me find, there it is. So, got this. That's sticking out quite a ways, so we want to take this other nut here, and we're going to screw this down to kind of give it a spacer. And do not force it. You should never force these. Sometimes you can just flip it around and it'll work just fine. There we go. Man, that's sticking out quite a bit. We're going to leave it about right here. Okay. Now we can put this back in here through the hole. And it's actually at a good spot now, because we still have to have enough to put our other washer and nut onto it. So this is actually a massive upgrade for this guitar. The only thing okay, we're going to pretend that never happened. The only thing that I'm probably going to be terrible at doing, honestly, is soldering our new jacks into it. But it shouldn't be too bad either. This is why we grabbed our sockets. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to loosen up our jack port. It's big, I think it's, let me try to find a 12. I know I got one in here. Infamous 10 millimeter. That's a 13, it may work. There's a 12. Okay. So what I'm doing here, it's got a little screw on it. Oh, not a screw, but it's got a nut on it. We're just going to take that off. With these tellies, they make it where you can't really get your hand in there to do it. Okay, we got it out. Now we can just take it. This came off. And this came out. So yeah, it's got a little brace in there. It's got, well, while we're at it now, we might as well go ahead and change this out for a much better jack than this. And they don't cost a lot. I got is, these are Pure Tones, multi-point, and they are a lot better than that. So let me open that up. Typically you can use scissors, whatever. It's good enough cut metal, it's good enough cut plastic. And really all you do is just kind of match it up on this. You got two little spots right here. And what we're going to do is just go ahead and take this down. We don't need that extra screw onto it. Oh, actually not, my bad. It's still morning. And what I mean by match it up is you're going to want to see which one's sitting higher and lower. If it'll focus. Okay, you can see this one's sitting lower. See, this is sitting higher. Or you can just take my word for it. Focus. Yeah, anyway. When you look at these, if you look at the other one, this also got one that's sitting higher and lower. It's got, yeah. You can see it better on this one. But when that is up top, you kind of want to just match the wires up. We got our ground wire at the top. And that's kind of what we're going to do on the other one too. Just kind of take it. Watch your fingies. This part that always scares me. My fingies. Wee. Okay. Now we got that unsoldered. So the ground is up top. And then we're going to do this is like before, we're going to sort of straighten these out a little bit. And just like before, we're going to solder in one wire at a time. Kind of hold it off to the side. I want to feed it a little bit of this. that's going to work. So, when you need 3 hands and you ain't got but 2, do not bite too hard on that. Now, I got that soldered in. Pretty damn good, actually. Start to understand why my brother calls me a soldering wizard. What I'm going to do is strip this back just a tiny bit more. Doesn't have to be much. And we're going to take it, wrap it in where it's touching. And now I don't have to use my mouth as a third hand here like I'm freaking Zorro. I can just take it and solder down. Just like that, we got our jack port soldered. One piece. Damn it, why do I have that in my head now? So, now we got our tone done, we got our jack done. All that's left to do now is our volume pot, and you'll see why I saved that for last. In just a second. So, what we got here is just a shit ton of wires. Because both of our humbuckers here, these are wide range humbuckers, which still do the telly thing. It's not like us your typical humbuckers on that. But now we have to unsolder these. I want to start from the sides and go in. Main thing that we got to do. Remember, number 3 is ground. I'll take our other pot here. Fold back our number 3. And of course, coat everything in some flux. At this point, I kind of fluxed everything anyway, so fuck it. Or flux it, whatever you want to say. It's kind of gooey. Feels like Vaseline. Okay. Now we got a few options here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our tone that we just did back out. I know this seems kind of redundant, but we were getting everything where we needed it. So, and we already got it where we can essentially put it where we want it. And this is going to also help move everything back to one location pretty much, where we can just solder it all down there. So I'm going to put this down here where the tone is. This is the closest to us, so make it easier on ourselves. We are going to have to do some soldering up where the volume knob is going to eventually sit. But we can do like before, and we can just solder in our ground again. On this is our number 3 slot, and we don't have to put a capacitor up here. We got one on our tone, that's good enough. And this is just going to be like before. Okay, we're going to want to take all this, just take our ground off. Let me see what else right here. Anyway, so every one of these is grounded there. Okay. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things growing out of one spot. Okay, we can do this. There's 2. There's the other 4. Now we got to do a red and white go here together. That goes with that white. There's the white, or first white wire. So what I can do now is finally take this up, move it out the way, and I guess we can take our new volume pot Put up there where it's going to go. Now that we desoldered a hell of a lot. And kind of smack this back into place. Should not be too hard to do. There we are. Okay. As far as all these go into one spot, I'm going to just make one big area. Yeah, we're going to just dab one big spot onto it. I'm going to have to find another spot for y'all in a second. But I want to make one big dab onto our pie here. And I did that. Let me get a spot for y'all. Okay, you can kind of see what I'm doing here. We're going to take all these and we're going to put it right there where I got that solder. Oh, that's fucking hot. Okay. Those are soldered in. Now I got to pull this back up. We need to move this over essentially. Out of the way. There. Now I can this red wire goes down here with the white wire. And I got to solder this other one up here too. Go ahead and just kind of put these back down. I'm sure there's easier ways to do it, but when you're colorblind, you can't find the easiest way. That's actually going to be perfect. That's going to put it right there where our ground is. So let me do this. So this wire here is going to go down like right there. Because unfortunately we don't have enough wire going back, and we're not adding extra wire to it. So yeah, let me get that done and out of the way real quick, guys. And after that I will resume it. You know what I'm doing. So what I'm doing now is adding that big okay. Sometimes you need metal to hold it in place, and that's kind of where we're at now. So you need something that can withstand the heat, pretty much. Because our skin can only handle up to a certain amount. Either that or, hey, I found a way. I'll just add some more to it. Okay. Now, into that one little slot. We're going to add our wires, our red and our white. I'm going to have to find a way to tie these in a little bit. Okay, kind of straighten that wire out just a tiny bit. Just red one where I can see what I'm doing. Okay. Now that I got it in there, I can add the red too. I can just kind of, I'm going to try to finesse it in there to where I can just get them both in one go. There we go. I got some of that too, but Here we go. We got it. Now what is left is our jack and another ground. Okay. Being that we know where these two go, we can just kind of desolder it. Just a black wire. You can kind of hold it up and let gravity help you out a little bit. Put just a tiny bit of tension on it. And there it goes. It'll pop right on out. And this is going to go into our last lug, by the way. Now let's go ahead and drop another spot on the side of this for a new grounding spot. And what we're going to do first, we're not going to ground it first. We're going to, we're going to add our hot end first. But for that, I'm going to strip this wire back just a tiny bit more because very, very little. Yeah, I know there are wire strippers for that, but I've never had luck with them. Okay. Get that done. We're going to go ahead put that wire in first. That is now soldered on. We'll slide our jack down there to where it's out of the way and where I can see it a little better. Now we got that wired on. This one's got enough wire sticking up, so I can just kind of solder this one on and we'll be done. And just like that. If you're wondering why I got such high heat, just because, well, it's 932 degrees Fahrenheit. That's what I always run it on. I've had good luck like that because I'm not having to sit there for a long period of time with it, and it's less likely for me to damage anything. Now we reassemble this. First start out with the jack. I got the I got the solder cut off now. These jacks are always a pain in the ass to get started into it. You might be wondering why I changed out that jack port of that particular. Kind of hard talking, kind of straight on doing this too. You might be wondering why I changed that out. Being honest, it was kind of ass. Let me fold those wires in a little bit. Not a whole lot. Just doing a little bit of upgrading. Yeah. This jack does not want to fit in there. Might be why they had the crappy one in it to begin with. This routed out enough. Okay. Sometimes you gotta fold these in a little bit. If I can never get this jack in, I'll let you know. Okay, I finally got it started in good. Should be able to finish it the rest of the way up. If I can get it to go just a tiny bit more. So I found out what it is a little bit tighter in that spot. Like the one way to do this, to draw it the rest of the way in, is to put a nut on it. And this is the trick I'm having to do now. Yep. It would work if I turned the socket the right way. Just kind of go all the way back with it. And what that'll do is I'll kind of pull it back forward. That'll pull it towards us the rest of the way that we need it. Maybe it's not a 12 like I was thinking. Let's try a 10. That's 11. This is what? No, I don't have to look too big. It's 14. I know I got 10 around here. That's a 13. Let's shade to 13. That's a 13. That explains it. Now that we got the rest of the way in, we can just take that off. And now we can actually put this little plate back on. And drive a washer. Slap it back there. Grab a nut. Not the ones between your legs, but this one here. Yes, I know most of my audience are male, so the joke fits. An hour and a half video and 20 minutes is me struggling with a damn jack. That sounds about right. Okay. Now that we got all our goodies back into place, I am going to go ahead and finagle all this back in. I don't know if that's a real word. I'm assuming it works. So I'm pretty sure everybody can understand what that means. And it fits like a glove. Now we just put our screws back in and we are golden. After this is just clean it. Ah, shit, there's one thing I forgot to do. I forgot to tighten these up and all that good stuff. So let's go back one step. This is what happens when you are retarded. That's the easiest way to put it. I know I am. Okay. Big ass crescent wrench coming up. Okay. There's that one. That's almost good. Now for our volume knob. We still got to set this one up. I forgot. We got to basically take all the nuts off of it. It does look better in there, I'm not going to lie. Okay. Now we got that. We take the very last one and flip it around. I know you can't see what I'm doing here, but that's really what I'm doing is I'm flipping around that last one. And I forgot. I gotta put one of these back on first. And I want to set it the same way I got the other one. I can't whistle for shit. La 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 la. Okay. Now we put our washer down. And we take our nut, put that on. It's under here. If anything's going to give me a problem with my history, it's going to be the jack. The reason why I say that is me in installing jack ports do not always go well. I could have gotten better. I may have. And you do not want to over tighten this by any means. Even though you see me using a giant crescent wrench on it, you do not have to do that. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm just using that because it's easier. It's easier to find whatever size you need. And that's kind of the best crescent wrench I got. Okay. Now we can screw it back down. And we're probably going to be sitting closer to 2 hours. The smart thing would be to check and make sure everything's working here before you proceed. But I am positive I got everything right. So I'm going to go ahead and just finish this up. Is I'm curious. And I am going to say something that a lot of people are going to find controversial. If you are a telly guy and you hate humbuckers, but you like the way they look, this is the guitar for you. And also, if you are a telly guy and you think that single coils are the only thing that is properly telly, you're not 100% wrong, but you are wrong. These sound just as good. Like, they are the wide range humbuckers. They still do the telly thing. They sound amazing. They sound fuller. They do not sound like P90s by any means. You know, they sound like their own thing. And those that only like humbuckers, or you like the way a telly sounds, but you don't want a single coil pickup, this is the way for you. You just want like your look of humbuckers and still get the sound. Yeah. I am not sponsored by anybody, by the way. I haven't been sponsored from the beginning. Too small of a channel if you haven't noticed. I just love guitars. And also I love working on them. I am very careful with putting this big guard back in, by the way. I know some people go, well, you need to take the neck off. No, you don't. If you're having to take your neck off on everything that you do on a guitar, then you got a shitty guitar. I am telling you that right now. I know that's probably going to trigger somebody, but there should be no reason why you have to do that just to do simple maintenance. Alright, I'm going to go get some stuff, clean this up, and then we're going to, before I finish that up, let me go ahead and tighten this. Make sure it's tightened all the way up. Yep, we're good. And these should still fit on there, by the way. Might take a little loving to get them on there, but I don't want to have to change these out because they look good. I may have to change them out for temporary though. That's okay. There is a trick that you can do, and that is, I don't know if I'm going to do it or not. Be gentle, pushing this down. Okay. Yeah, I really do want these back on it. Not gonna lie. Yeah. So I could just buy another set like this, which would be fine. Problem is I did not realize that they were mini pots that were in there whenever I got it. I thought they would be full sized. So these are made for the mini pots. Even though it's kind of a tight fit, they are still made for these. They are alpha pots, but I don't give a damn. The only other option, which you can see they kind of did on these, you can kind of crimp the top a little bit, but I don't want to risk that. Not when these pots are fucking $15 a piece. So it looks like I'm going to be robbing some yeah, damn it. Better yet, I got an idea. I will be back. Okay, we are back. I did squeeze them to make these fit. And what I used was a pair of wire cutters. They kind of squeeze them tight. Now these will fit. It's kind of like why. It's really why I like the split shafts. And just like that, you can't tell that anything was ever changed until you hear this damn thing. And then to pull these off, they do not want to come off. So you'll have to, they grip a hell of a lot better on these. Oh yeah. Now we just got to get something to clean it up, and then we also need to clean our hands and put everything else up. After I do that, I will be back. Alright, we're back to clean it up. I'm just going to use some of our guitar polish, which I've been using this for a while. Oh, it does spray on. And it's okay if you get on the pickups. It's not going to hurt nothing. This can go everywhere on this guitar, except on the electronics inside. You might not want to put it in there. It just seems like a bad idea. And again, some of these damn things are bulletproof and you can't kill them. So, and this your guitar, you do what you want. I will say that too. If you want to go underwater sea diving with your guitar, that's up to you. Even though it is highly unrecommended, nobody can tell you what to do with your guitar. Just know when you try to bring it back to anybody for a warranty job, after they find out what you did, you're going to owe them some money. You can't complain about your pots failing after you've been 1,000 feet underwater with it. And it's probably going to take a couple of times cleaning this to get all that off of it. Resin is messy. I'm probably going to have to get some new rags and clean this later. At least the pickups. Yeah, I got the majority of it off. That's the main thing. I'm still going to try to get these clean, because this is the one guitar where it matters most. It looks about as good as we're going to get it. I'm glad I don't have to worry about doing intonation on this thing again. Being honest, I didn't have to do any intonation to this thing. I checked it. It was fine, so I left it alone. No, straight out the factory. What we're going to do now is get this tape off. came off in many pieces. Now we can just slide it back. And tangle with this mess that we got up here. This always seems to happen. Some people that go never reuse strings. I am not one of those. I understand that these can get expensive. So what we're going to do is a little more tedious to put them back in. Yeah, it is. Well, bless you. There we go. Got the first one back in. Set that back down. Yeah, I know it's sharp. Honestly, all of them are probably going to be sharp. But I'm doing that so they can stretch back out. They do relax kind of quick. By the time we get it all strung up, it's going to be pretty much back out of tune anyway, even if we did tune it up. I think I got two puppies that need a bath. I say that and they'll quit scratching for a little bit so I don't give them one. I'm pretty sure you guys don't want to see me restring it. Anyways, and probably should have paused it. Let me do that real quick while I finish this up. Well, guys, I got back. And as far as you can look and see, it doesn't look any different than whenever I started. Rarely does it look different whenever you do electronics of any kind, unless it's something visual like your pickups. So, I hope you guys enjoyed that video of me doing that to it. And what I am going to do, I'm going to make a short showing you how it sounds. I just want to do a video of basically a tutorial of how to do some of this stuff. It's not as scary as it seems, but it can cost you a lot of money if you don't know what you're doing. That's the one thing I will tell you. It can cost quite a bit of money because you can severely damage your equipment if you do not know what you're doing. And yeah, I know I need to clean the tip of this thing, but it is working fine. And I'm probably going to have to get a new one or some new tips anyway. Whichever one's cheaper. And I may have some extra tips at my brother's shop. And it's not a guitar shop. Anyway, it's a tire shop. I may have some more wiring stuff there. But yeah, that is basically a full upgrade of everything except for the pickups. And the reason behind that is, even though they do sound hollow, they do sound great. It's got a unique tone that I like. So I just wanted to make them sound more alive. And everything should work properly. I will test that out in just a few moments. But until next time, I hope everybody has a wonderful day. And I know I'm probably not going to see you guys until after Christmas. So I hope everybody enjoys their holiday and has a wonderful time with their family and friends if they have any. If not, then I hope this video at least gave you a little something to look forward to. And I do hope you have a wonderful life and a wonderful day, wherever you may be, whoever you are. Let's always try to be positive for everybody. That's the best I can tell you. I may not be the wisest person in the world, but I may not even be the nicest. Sometimes I can be really nice, or I can be a little bit of an ass. I'm only human. We all have our bad days, but at the same time, that is no excuse. You should always hold yourself accountable. If you're having a really bad day, try to stay away from other people where you don't have any issues. That's the best advice I can give you. And I forgot to put this one up. What is this, 14? 15, 17. Okay, I need that for my seats. Which I am working on something behind the scenes that hopefully everybody will see. And probably going to be a little while before I get to do that. And I'm still trying to figure out whether or not I want to put it on this channel or make a separate channel. I might have to start a vlogging channel, thinking about it. It's something that is very dear to me. Is a vehicle that I got, and I'm getting this stuff for an engine swap. I already got the motor, got transmission. I'm having to find other bits and pieces of it here and there that I need, because I am down to mostly wiring stuff. I have to get let's see. I have to get the ignition stuff. I just got an ECU for it. Should be in any day now. And it's going to be very, very unique. Not because of the type of swap I'm doing, but because of the functions it's going to have. It's kind of going to be a first. May or may not be a first, but it's definitely going to be very rare. My little tool bag. This kind of stuff, most of this in here. Believe it or not, worked very, very good. The only ones I found that worked better than that, as far as ease of cutting, is going to be your three-way. What is it? String winder. It's got a cutter. It's got your peg puller. And it's got your string winder on it too. Hence the name, string winder. Pretty sure I didn't have to explain that part. I don't know why I did. And I'm going to keep that. My last orange drop. I'm pretty sure I'll find something useful for it. Solder. I can actually have this outside of the box. I can put this in the bag. I did not think about that. But I can put this in the bag and make it a little easier on myself. And the way I learned how to solder wasn't by working on guitars. It was actually whenever I went to my local tech. I went there for welding and also learned how to solder. And I've been soldering pretty much ever since. Not a luthier by any means. Even though I'm pretty sure I can build a guitar at this point. The only part I might have an issue with would be the neck. Building one of those from scratch. It would be a bit of a pain in the ass. But I think that's also due to lack of tools. Something I've been thinking about getting into. and I could make videos on how to do that. At the end of the day, it's not so much of can you do it, it's more of do you have the time to do it most of the time. Because I'm pretty sure the large majority of people can do half of this stuff, but not everybody's got the time to do it. I think the only thing left to do is just make sure everything is nice and tight. And then we test it out. And make a short showing you how it sounds. Alright everybody, I'll see you again later. And you're probably going to see the short before you see this. And I do apologize, I don't have the best camera quality. I'm just using a cell phone. Same for the mic quality. Alright everybody, again I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'm Panda, and this has been Panda's Gaming and Music. It's not always going to be something as far as reviews. Sometimes it's just going to be me doing stuff like this. And they actually turn really, really well. Like, I'm not having to put any force into it at all. They turn good. Even though actually it was like that before too. They're actually straighter than they used to be. That's a plus too. All right. Bye everybody.